Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to OTHERspace PM. I'm Jason the Ape. I'm here with my brother on the blockchain, Sean Nana. What's up, homie? Good
What's
evening. How
up,
you doing?
Jason the Ape?
Man, I feel like I haven't seen you in so many hours, you know.
Oh man, already we got homies pulling up. What up, everyone? What
Yeah.
up, 1-9? What up, 8 Kid A? What up,
GM in the
Justin?
PM, guys.
What up,
That's the new
Flawless?
thing.
Shit.
Well,
Hell yeah.
first
What up,
things
Squirtle?
first, cheers to everyone. I don't you can't see my glass,
Oh,
but
dude,
cheers to
hold on,
everyone.
hold on, hold on, hold on. I'm like wondering, like, do I crack this open?
Ooh,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah, I mean, it is tasty. It is good,
So we
but
got mutant
you're gonna
grape. But it is it's the only one I got right now. And
I
then the other thing is I could do some strawberry margarita from Costco and
yeah, I
sip
went with
it.
trusty Modelo. You don't yeah. I
Oh shit. I don't know, man. I don't know.
yeah, I saved the bottle because also here's the reality is you're gonna wanna let that breathe, dog. Um,
Oh really?
yeah, it tastes better like the second day after it's been out, decanted or like I know it's not decanting kind of wine, but like that particular bottle, you need to let it breathe.
Okay, okay. Well,
So
I don't know.
You
This
won't appreciate the taste right away. Like, try it and then let it sit for, like, 24 hours and try it again, and I
hey,
bet you'll like it the second time.
I tasted at the LA event for Other Block.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
it
know
was
what?
good there.
I'm gonna go with the strawberry margarita, which has tequila in it already.
It's a
It
margarita
is.
kinda night, man.
You know what? It's.
He said this one night said, "Go for the chick drink."
I know, man. Don't call me out.
You
It's
know,
funny
it's been
because
a long day.
my wife was the one that suggested. I was like, babe, what should I drink? You know? And I'm like, I'm thinking about cracking this open. She's like, well, there's margarita in the fridge, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll bring both. I'll
Alright.
bring both.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I had to grab a Modelo. Baron, yeah. Well, Baron actually, or Jason, myself. Um, I, I, I have a
Baron, Jason, the
I have a
Hustle
little
House.
association with mutant grape wine.
Yeah, what's your association?
as far as I understand it, I'm a partial owner of a little fraction of it. So, you
As
know,
far as you understand, you
yeah,
sign anything, bro? You
I
sign
did.
it?
Yeah, I
Oh,
did.
okay.
So.
Then you are a partial owner.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all under the Huddle Collective with Half Baked and Mutant Grape. It's all one kind of company. So
All
I'm
right, all
excited
right.
for that project to kind of do its thing. But yeah, that's dope, man. I haven't cracked one open for a while. I got a case actually from the LA event with Peter and Sawicki. I went back the next day because we commissioned a piece from Rock Soul,
That's where I
and
stole this from.
yeah, yeah, that's where I got a bunch from too. That's what I saw like a whole case, so I just took it. I was like, well,
I know
that's
there's like a bunch
there's no
left.
one there.
I was like, dude, someone took the one that was because we had this set up with
Oh, right,
the
right, right.
mobile Twitter Space studio,
Yeah,
and
that's
we
good
had a
time.
ball there, and I was like, oh, cool, we got a ball we can take home, and then someone took that, and so when I saw like there was like I was just like quick math. I'm like, there's maybe 15 people here cleaning up, and there's like more than 20 bottles left. So I was
Yeah,
like, I'm taxing this.
yeah, dude. I mean, that's that's what you got to do when there's collectibles around and they're not being appreciated. So cheers to that.
Cheers,
Cheers to
everyone.
that. Thanks everyone
Cheers, you
for hanging out.
guys. Uh,
Um,
wait, Anthony's sipping some mezcal right now.
mm.
That sounds about right. Probably some smoky mezcal.
Yeah, I had a little bit of whiskey, and I'll finish off with a Modelo. It's been a hell of a day, man. We did another episode of Deckside today with another awesome part of the community member. So work on getting that out. Every Saturday or so, every other Saturday, we're gonna start to have those out. So I'm pretty excited about that. But uh, while we were doing that and having that interview and recording it, some crazy shit went down.
I know, dude.
So
Imagine, filming a podcast and you're having like an interview, you're in deep discussion, and then the other side tweet comes out, and
yeah.
you're just like tripping balls in the background. you know.
I didn't even know, and then when I got done, NFT Traveler was like, "Did you see my text? They posted finally," and I'm like, "Oh shit!" And so do you have it queued up? I would love to watch it because
Yeah, we can
uh,
watch that.
I know
Let's
a lot
watch
of
it.
people.
Let's watch it through and then let's watch it again.
Well,
We can pause on a few parts because I think we can break down some of the things and I want to hear from you guys like what your
yeah.
thoughts were. Cause I think there's some good alpha in there. Um yeah, this is probably the most significant piece of news slash like content that we have that showcases the gameplay.
So this is what I wanted to address. Was this the trailer from the test? As far as I remember it, there's no. It seems like a much better version than what we
There was
saw.
like parts of it they
Yeah,
showed,
yeah.
but
Like they showed us like a rough draft, is what it feels like now.
yeah, exactly. That's probably what it was. Like the trailer that was on the other side test that they showed, like what it's been over a month now.
Oh, really? Yeah,
I mean, to me, I was like, oh, that like put that out, you know what I mean? That's
yeah.
cool. But
They made it way cooler.
this is way cooler. This is way more
Yeah.
significant. I feel like that was a draft. And apparently, I think someone had mentioned that like directive creator was saying like he asked Ian IDB
Mhm.
and he was like, yeah, the ones that we saw at the test was actually like a rough draft for the actual trailer. So
Yeah, it's
what we
dope.
just saw is finally the trailer we've been waiting for. I've been waiting
Yeah.
to see it, you know what I mean?
No, for
And some of
sure.
the
Because
things I was like,
I missed it.
yeah, I know this guy went
I
to the
got to see it on the
bathroom.
phone. So like for me, I'm like, shit, I'm watching it on my phone. I'm like, does this look familiar?
Yeah, I know, dude. Because we saw it once and then it was like that was it. You know what I mean?
That
Um
quick. Yeah.
okay, well, I got it queued up. Let
Let's
me
do it.
share my screen.
Yeah, while you're doing that, if you haven't already, guys, give this video a like. It always helps the metrics as we hang out. So appreciate that.
Oh yeah, man. Thank
Might as
you.
well.
Thank you all for pulling up.
Yeah.
This is so cool, you know, that we
Let's
get
do
to do
shots
that.
every time we do a coda.
Yeah.
It's a
Yo,
drinking game.
Kid A is ready, dude.
All right. You got to make it a little. We got to line up some actual shots one day, Sean, and we'll do like a drinking challenge or something. That reminds me of
Yeah.
our college days, dog. All right, let's keep it going.
Okay, okay. All right. So first thing we're going to do, we got the other side, you know, we got the trailer, which we'll watch. We'll
Yeah.
go through Seafort's thread as well, who's a VP of product.
That was a
And
very cool thing to see his thread. So yeah, I
yeah,
look forward to that.
we'll go through that. You know, yeah, we'll kick it off. Let me share my screen. Boom, boom, share audio. Bang. All right, here we go. If you can't hear it while I'm playing it, you guys just, let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to let this one play through 1 minute and 4 seconds. All right, dude.
Yeah, that's interesting. Let's watch it again. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, we will, but like let's just start at the front of it and kind of like digest it together because there's a lot there, but it's also so short and so quick. So like,
That's what she said.
yeah, I hope not. Um, I am kind of curious. just, as this plays out, how many codas do we need to play the game? Like, does it have to have all 5 slots? So this is just
Yeah.
visually
All
stunning,
right.
man.
So, the first thing you get to see all these codas. You got Eric Reed's Mega right here. And I think this is a Mega too. That just looks way too sick.
I think
Um,
so as well.
yeah. So, and then you have some of the Mara. You got your Enchanter, your Hunter, your Farmer. First thing. So, first thing that shows up is a symbol. Now I know a lot of Kagami holders are pretty excited about this circle that keeps
Oh
popping
my
up.
gosh.
What is there significance to this? That's what I want to know. Are we looking at like something that signifies the obelisk, the Kagami? What is this?
I mean, I don't have a Kagami, so you tell me. I don't
Okay.
listen to the
I'm
theories
looking
because I don't
at
have
you,
one.
Anthony. I'm looking at you, kiddo. You tell me. All right.
Here's what I
Well,
see is it looks like a little piglet, 2 little arms,
oh,
little
it
head,
does. Little
little
pig
ears,
right here.
little like,
Okay, okay.
you know.
But yeah, it's not a perfect triangle. It's very much like in the shape of the obelisk. You know what I mean? And then that triangle at the top. So I get a feeling it's just like a cool design for the obelisk. But
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I still am so curious when the reveal of a Kagami happens if everyone's gonna feel like validated or frustrated, you know what I mean? So I'm still curious to see how it all goes.
Oh, they'll just keep trolling us for
You just
it's
got a
it's
mirror
they're
that
like,
lights up
yeah,
forever.
they're gonna be like, yo, we told you from the jump. It's just art.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So first of all, gang of
Open
codas, join the
beta.
open beta. There's that symbol again.
And on their post, right, they said it was the 29th, which I believe is in like 10 days or so.
Yeah. So here's the first thing they're
Ooh,
showing
nice. All right.
is they got a coda, they got another deed, and they have an enchanter,
Mhm,
right?
mhm, mhm.
And so then they pull up hatch, farm, and hunt. So
Ah, okay. This is
what's the
interesting.
What's the
So as I'm looking at these 3, right? The hatch is the enchanter, the farm is the farm, and then the hunt is the coda, which right off the bat gets to hunt, right? So
Yeah.
in the first kind of session of this game, anyone with vessels isn't really gonna get to hunt, right? They all have to hatch, so they have to nest them. And I wonder if that's what you're gonna do here. You're gonna select like a time period and get them cooking in a matter of speaking, right? And then
Yeah.
this is where we're also gonna get to farm our deeds, and kind of get access to what resources are on them, perhaps for the first time. And then if you have a coda, you get to hunt. You get that competitive advantage we're always talking about, kind of that early adopters reward, right? So
Mhm, mhm.
that was my aha where I'm like, okay, there's 3
Yeah,
words,
they
they're
ain't
they're
just
just like that.
randomly
Yeah,
throw up 3 things, you know what I'm saying? And then just be like, yo, let's do some random stuff up here and just say hatch, farm, and hunt.
same logo and circle behind the words, by the way.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So maybe
Nice.
there is something there, but
Nice. Okay.
alright,
So
alright.
kind of goes from here.
Alright, this
All
gets me
right.
excited right off the bat because I see this
Why?
little creature, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I still have my Tavo. I haven't sold it yet. I almost did the other day
You
because
got
bear
listed.
market times.
You got listed.
But I delisted. I kept it and I put it back in the vault because this kind of stuff gets me excited. I have a feeling the little creatures are going to give some kind of extra perk, right? They do something. So this might be a time where we find it out.
Yeah, they had to remind us real quick. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're like, yo, check out this dude.
I'm
So
hoping that the price just bumped on
it
all of
comes
those.
right after Hatch, Farm, and Hunt. So we'll see. But the other reason why I think they showed this particular deed is because this is the same environment as the
Ooh, that's so
gameplay.
cool.
You know
Wait,
what I
go back?
mean?
No, no, no. I want to see it again. Oh, I see. Okay. So it burned and it was like, this is actually, oh, I see. Okay.
Like, yo, let's go into this deed because that's your game board. and this is what that deed's going to look like, because you got the
Wait, is that creature that creature?
no,
He's got like 6 arms, so does that one.
this one has 6 arms.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Oh
6.
yeah, maybe. But no, look at those eyes. They look totally different, dude.
Oh yeah.
This
He's like,
guy does
ah!
not look like him.
I don't know, man. I've been drinking. It could.
But you know what? Like those look like some of the eyes like that some Kodas have, like Peanut. He has those 3 eyes.
Yeah, yeah, that's
But
cool.
you can tell this is from the volcanic category of deeds. He's gotten like whatever gems or something popping off his back, looking all crazy. You know, when I first saw the trailer, I thought these were like in 3D, but they're actually 2D,
Yeah, they're all
just
flat
like
images, right?
animated.
See,
Yeah.
and people keep telling me, this looks like Hearthstone. I'm not familiar with what that is. So maybe afterwards we can look at that a little bit, or maybe you're familiar with it, or anyone in the audience who might be familiar with it. Let me know, because I keep hearing people relating this particular game to Magic, Hearthstone, these various card games, right? Because it does look like a card game. So I'm very curious,
Yeah. All right.
but
Well,
we'll get there. We'll get there.
very cool looking werewolf kind of monster thing rendered in 2D, but moving. It has lava dripping out the mouth. Look at that. Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. And then shattered. Bam, shattered.
That was a great transition. Okay, so same level. Maybe it's the next level, like next boss, right? Because it looks like the
It's
same.
another shattered. Yeah. This
Okay.
kind of looks like the one that was showing up in the end of the second trip,
Okay. All right.
you know. So we got another boss. This whole shattered background, I think, is just signifying like, yo, this is the shattered,
Yeah,
right?
that's pretty sick.
So we get really cool boss looking, and they're talking about defending your other deeds. So these shattered are the ones that are looking to occupy the other side and run off all the Oda from
Yeah.
it. And so that's what the shattered are doing.
That's interesting
Now,
too that it's phrased as defend, right? It's not an aggression by us. It's more we're
yeah,
protecting
we
what
didn't
we
go to
have.
fucking we didn't go over there to fuck around with these like
Oh,
creatures.
but that makes me think, like, if it's a defense, right, and someone doesn't defend their deed, will they lose resources, right? So people who have a deed that aren't actively playing it and defending it, right, air quote defending, whatever that means, uh, is that not in their benefit? Will that be, a negative experience for them, perhaps, right? Like, if I don't defend one of my deeds, can one of these creatures come and steal my resources? That'd be interesting, right? So to
Yeah,
incentivize more
could.
played deeds, perhaps?
They can
Interesting.
definitely like mess with your rewards, your resources, like all that's on the table. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Oh,
So
that
after
that
they say defend your deed, now they're kind of introducing the codas, and
that
these are the codas that are defending the deed
this whole screen is just visually so much to take in. I get very excited by the creepy crawly hair.
from the codas.
Yeah, hell yeah, I love the green. I got, that's part of the hypno trip. But let's take this down. There's so much on the screen, right? There's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
bar up on top, a life bar, 4 different icons that maybe they're attacks, maybe they're combo traits, some kind of creature up here, which looks like 22 days, 14 hours. So maybe that's how long, we have available for
Wait,
this
this right
particular quest.
here.
On the far right side, yeah.
So that's the shattered loot, right? So 22 days, 14 hours, 31 minutes. I would imagine that's a season,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know?
That makes sense.
It's probably what we're up against. Like we're competing for that loot right there. And then let's see here. We got the Coda icon on the bottom left. We got a combo meter, which is at full combo meter strength. And I would imagine so if you got like 2 megas, and 3 other Codas, that are attacking this thing. And it's interesting too. We just covered other decks unlocked, and we were talking about the color traits and how pink is one of the most rare ones, but it looks like the background of the color is the same kind of beam color that you're going to get from this coda.
Interesting. What is
So,
even the creature behind? That's the shatter we've been seeing with the whole arm
oh
right here?
yeah,
That's been
yeah,
the image, you know?
that's definitely that arm in the in the poster. You know what I
They
mean?
still kept it very vague and hidden, right? So it's still gonna be a mystery to us when we see the creature, most likely in battle. Because like, I can't really gather if this is what it looks like. It might, but I do like
Yeah,
the little Coda ghost, the little visuals of like, "Oh,
the
this is."
shades.
Yeah.
Those are the shades.
Ah.
So those are the shades. They're the ones either running away from the shattered, they're trying to take shelter.
Mm.
So the whole concept is like the shades, some of them banded together to help with the Kodas to defend the shattered from taking over the other side. But most of them hid and sheltered into a vessel. And so that's kind of like one of the things we're seeing. We see like it looks like a potion or something right up here. Do you see that? That thing on the top?
Which side of the top?
Top right hand. Oh, I realize you can't see my mouse, but there's on the like right next to the head of the shattered to the right hand side.
Yeah,
There's
there's
like
something
this.
on his, like, right shoulder, right?
Yeah,
That's kind
yeah,
of a little pink.
yeah. And I'm wondering if like that is part of one of the other icons on the top left. It
I'm
looks like there's a few icons that were maybe used, but
I'm
there's
I'm
only four.
I'm still trying to figure out what this bottom right, circle could be, right? Because it still has pattern accents to that repetitive pattern we've seen on the outside.
Yeah.
I'm kinda wondering if this may be some kind of, like, I wanna say map, but I don't think it's a map if it's a 2D game and we're just, like, playing cards, right? Like this, so I'm curious how we're
Mhm.
gonna select these to play, right? So, like, if there's 5 spots, do I have to play 5 spots? Do I have to go find 2 other people in the community or 1 other person
Dude,
in the
you're gonna
community?
want to. I mean, yeah, this comes down to your worker slots, right? So we got like this icon, this little green icon right here. All of them are lit. We'll take a look and see if that stays consistent. But why don't we go through it? It shows these codas blasting and it's taking up all this energy. So like the first thing, we get like these arrows that kind of come up right from the top. And then those start to blast it. While it's blasting it, the shattered looks like it's getting energy drained. You see the bar numbers start to go down a little bit. So it looks like, it has some ridiculous number up here, like
I don't know, it looks like
90,
three
930
billion.
million or something. And it's going down. Okay, it says fight is won. Now, here's the thing where, like, what do they mean by fight is one? Are they talking about teaming up? Like, I felt like in the original trailer that we saw, it said team up.
Mm,
But now I think it's saying fight as one. So,
right, so maybe something all of, like, the popcorn for 10K TF and the bounties where you kinda have to do a team activity together, and then you'll set out onto a quest. So you might have to just find enough people to fill the slots, and initiate the fight, and you guys all collectively put your powers together to beat that shattered character.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, like just like 19 said,
Yeah, exactly,
10K
exactly.
TF, they have bounties. I know we've been speculating on that a
Oh, so
lot. Like, yo, like there might be a code. We might be able to team up because I remember when we watched this trailer and I was like, well, who the hell has 5 codas and like 2 megas besides Bad Teeth?
yeah.
you know? And that was kind of like, all right, so this trailer, obviously, when they talk about teaming up or fighting as one, there's no way they can expect people to have 5 codas, and that's what they're showing,
No, no, no,
because
and that's why
that's
they've
a
been forced.
small niche of people.
Yeah, that's why I think they've been training that behavior with heavy metal, like really like not forcing, but encouraging that
The
community.
social,
Yeah,
yeah,
like letting it be known, like this is part of the game mechanic that's going to be important to us is the social dichotomy of us working together, right? Like that is part of the game. And so
yeah,
they
I think
planted
it'll
that
be.
seed and now it's going to feel a lot more comfortable. Like let's say for anyone in our community, you go to Other Space FM Discord or Other Space Discord rather, and there's a community of people who have codas, who have these things available that you're
Yeah.
going to be able to jump into missions with right off the bat. So I'm
Well,
assuming there's going to be missions. Who knows?
I feel you. And that's kind of the thing
That's
is
it
like
right there.
yeah, this social home is gonna be forever. By the way, you guys, when Legend of Lamar comes out, you guys gotta vote for my coda. It's 8049. Just write it down. I'll do daily votes for you, for your codas. That's right, Justin. Teamwork makes the dream work. Let's go. Oh,
What else we got? Let's keep
all right.
going. Let's keep going.
So then fight is one, and then we got
So a
okay.
different colored shattered. He's now gray. He's not green anymore. We're in the
Yep.
marshmallow world.
We're in Malo. Yep. We got all the things. Looks like he's
Looks like we're
attacking
receiving.
us.
Yeah, we're
He's
receiving
attacking
something.
us. So, bam. Oh,
Cool.
we're receiving something for
Yeah,
sure
that's what I'm
because,
saying. Because they went up, right? It showed like a positive.
yeah, and it has these balls that are blue and red, right? And when we receive those, every single card gets
Seems to
this
go up.
yeah, it has the number 9, 13, 11.
Where do you see
Or I
that?
guess they already had 9 right underneath.
Oh,
It's
I
hard to
see. I see
see.
at 9. Let's see.
Yeah,
Coda 9.
yeah,
Exactly. Okay.
it's like you can't really see much, to be honest
Yeah,
with
yeah,
you.
yeah. I mean, they did a great job with showing us stuff without showing us too much,
Yeah, like on the very bottom right you can see kind of 11 here, 10, 12, and 8.
Okay.
And what's interesting is there's 2 up arrows, right? So they're both, leveling up. And
They're
I was
blue
just
and red.
thinking like, yeah, how many of these have weapons? And it looks like there's 1, 2, 3 that have weapons.
Mhm.
And yet the numbers are still like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They're all in sequence.
It makes me wonder if this is gonna be something like, with heavy metal where they talk about this score that's gonna go along with you along the ride from Evo 1 to Evo 2 kind of thing. Like, is there gonna be an evolution of our codas that we're gonna grow them? We're gonna, create more
Like those are going to
powerful
evolve too.
characters. Yeah, like think about it. Like if you own a character in a video game, you evolve them. They become more powerful. They aren't just like stagnant as like this is what it is forever. That could be what we're seeing here is as you beat the shattered and you get your blue/red balls, or whatever those orbs are that kind of benefit you. It looks like it gives you some kind of increase in value. It's going to be interesting because like if I can build up my codas to be more powerful, right? Then it's a different value proposition also when you put it on the market, when you put it into battle. Throwing
Yeah,
Tide
yeah.
Pod. That looked like a Tide Pod. Yeah, for sure.
Stupid.
All
All
right,
right.
let's keep
So,
going. What else we got?
well, the other thing I'm noticing too is like we got these icons. Like we saw those little icons to the left that are green, like little arrows, but we got these middle icons, which this one's orange, this one's green, this one's green. Like
That
I
one's
would
red.
imagine like hunter, farmer, farmer, But that's not necessarily the case with this middle one either, which is like red. So
It
I'm
looks
not
like a
really
little
sure.
claw or something.
Yeah, I wish I can make that out. Like, and then I'm also curious, like, what is this versus this? Is this like going to help you like your shield and then your attack? But anyway, I'm not really sure. Also up
Nobody
here
knows.
we have the 5811. I think that's the ape coin, kind of like maybe the soft currency that we're probably going to use. And then it looks like the leaderboard, maybe your loot or your chest, your treasury. And then I can't really see what that last icon is on the top right hand corner. I'm looking at the top right.
Wait, Vlad says, "What up, Vlad?" He says, "Have you discussed about the timer? Why is it 44D for a boss?" I have
44D. What are we talking?
no clue what that means. We'll get to it perhaps if we can figure out what 44D means. Let's keep going.
Are we talking about the seasons? Like we were talking about like the loot on the box or the loot on the very top right?
Oh, right, the 44D earlier. Yeah,
44 days.
I mean, I thought it meant days as well, right? This looks
I
like
would
6.
imagine season, it's like we're
Yeah.
all competing for certain rewards for this season, and those
Right.
are one of the that's one of the legendary loot boxes or something.
Yeah.
All right, so
Stagger
abilities.
Let's go.
All right.
All right, this looks different.
So,
Okay, so those look like the symbols a little bit. No, maybe not.
oh wait. Yeah, well, here's the icon a little bit closer, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what that green looked like. Okay, that
That's
is them.
definitely that green. And
Okay.
then so this is zoomed in, and this looks like maybe it's an environment tier 1 because we
How
can't.
are you even getting to there from
No,
the
it's not. Never mind. It's just that because I only saw one card.
Oh, okay. I was like, you might be right. I'm just like, whoa.
No, same environment, right?
Okay, yeah.
So what do we got here? We got damage, 50 seconds for 600 seconds.
I'm gonna guess these are like actions, right? Like an attack, some kind of
time.
melee, some kind of
You
magic.
got this has a time thing, and then this might be like magic.
Like a burst, maybe an attack or something.
And that's probably what these different numbers are, like in different colors, kind of signifying like which one is doing that damage.
Right, and because there's gonna be different values, they said the Kodas with the weapons are gonna have stronger attacks than the ones without and such.
Dude, look at this. This is
I know,
so
that's gotta be
cool.
a mega. So, what do you
So
even think is happening here?
choice is saying 50 per second for 100 seconds. So or 600 seconds.
Oh, I see what
That's
you're
what we're
saying.
saying.
50-second, 50 damage every second for 600 seconds. That makes sense.
Damn.
As a powerful as Coda.
All right, so this coda is what's crazy is like the codas are in sequential order where it's like 8, coda 9, coda 10, coda 11, coda 12.
Interesting.
So I'm really curious about that.
Maybe that's not a score. Maybe the way we place them matters. Like,
yeah, maybe this
maybe
kind of
that's a ranking.
showcases how many you've done.
Oh, okay. That's super cool. Looks visually stunning.
Yeah, because look at like they're not even really doing anything, and these other codas. So look, there's an arrow. You can see the cursor.
Right.
And this
So he's selecting that one.
user clicks on this one, and so it's like, all right, cool. Zah. Okay. Zah. And then it goes and bursts in flames. Meanwhile, these other codas have they're like loading up, and it's shooting its little blue arrow.
Interesting. So they're not always gonna fight as one uniformed power. Like when these powers combine,
it's like passive fighting.
Yeah.
Like you get to choose one of these things, and it's gonna just go and attack it for a little bit.
Well, you know, and they posted that it's not going to be a very time consuming game in that in how correlation to heavy metal. That's not exactly what they said, but like we're not going to have to spend as much time. It's not going to be a time sucker. It sounds like so.
Yeah, you set this bad boy up. It's like, yo, for 600 seconds, it's gonna do 50 damage.
How long is 600 seconds?
Um,
60 seconds times 600 seconds. That's not right.
Yeah, it's math, and I'm not.
It's
I'm
10.
not
That's
great at
10
math.
minutes. That's 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes, it's gonna do, 50 damage a second. So
That's a lot.
these things are gonna last a while, dude.
I was like, damn, that's a lot of energy actually. So it's like 3 zeros, 3 zeros. That's 930 billion energy that you
Yeah.
have to defeat. Wow.
930 billion energy.
Wow.
All right, so what do you think of
Everyone's
this,
saying
dude?
10 minutes. They all did math way faster than me. I
See,
think
I
this is
was gonna
interesting,
say
right?
10 minutes, but I didn't want to be like
Shut up, everybody. Hate you all. No, I'm playing.
right.
Actually, no, I love you guys. This is an interesting part, right? You see a Ringa bot right here pop up.
Yeah.
You see the different box pop up with the Forgotten Ruins here.
Yeah.
So,
Yo, wait,
it makes you wonder.
Justin's part of Forgotten Ruins. Like, what are we looking at here? And who has Ranga? And what are we looking at there?
I mean, like my initial takeaway is how cool is it that the prizes may be other NFT projects? That's something I didn't anticipate or thought
Yeah.
would even happen, right? Like I was thinking ApeCoin reward, but actually what's more clever is the social engineering to engage us with other communities as a reward. Like your reward is you get to go be part of Renga. Your reward is you get to be part of whatever else, and that's pretty clever. So that and then we'll get to the post later because
Yeah,
there's a
we
little
got
bit
some Congos right
yeah, there's a little
here.
bit more to it.
For sure, man. And C4 dropped in the Discord, in the Otherside Discord. He was hanging out in there, and I think Tenacious reposted this and screenshot it, but he said Shattered dropped 2 key pieces of loot. Ship parts for the upcoming full release of Legends of the Mara. Hint, this one is big and important. And partner loot, which is a ton of different things for select partner NFTs. Partner loot will have utility in their ecosystems and will build systems that use it in LOTM as well.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. It's like these are existing NFTs that you might get that belong to a different ecosystem.
Right.
But they're also going to work in utility for those NFTs in LOTM as well.
Right. They all play together and all roads lead to the other side, right? So ship parts, they look like they're going to be parts of a ship that we're going to use in our other side journey at some point, right? So, it's the gift that keeps on giving. That is something about the culture of this whole world is they're continuously giving out other parts of the story. And this is something that like I'm very excited to play because I know there's
Yeah,
gonna be a
that's
lot of
cool
other
as fuck.
people who sleep on the first week, and you might collect some amazing reward or some prize that is not understood right now, but in 6 months' time, a year, when the Legends of the when the other side opens, might be an actionable piece that you really
Well,
desire or
dude,
need.
imagine if you got this as your loot and these were some of your rewards, right? What would you do? You would
Well,
go and like check out that collection, be like, "Yo, is this worth anything? Like, what project is
100%.
this from?
But
Wait, who has this? Like,
right.
oh wait, who's in Forgotten Ruins? Like, oh, I know Justin has a wizard. You know what I mean? It's like it almost forces you to kind of go explore, go see if you got something, go explore a new collection, and that's pretty cool.
Well, remember when they when Yuga opened that new wallet and send all those deeds to the side and a bunch of ApeCoin, and my thought was, what if those are rewards? What if those are bounties that could be, so like what like we're seeing Forgotten Ruins, we're seeing Renga. What if there was a Yuga box? You know what I mean? With
Yeah.
like a board
Wait.
ape or a vessel or some shit.
So we gotta clarify this. It said, 19 said, "Yeah, Bester. I was curious why Jason was calling these reward shit parts."
I don't know what that means.
I think you're talking about ship.
Oh, ship. Yeah. That, and we'll get to that text in a minute. There's a little bit more context.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a cool
So
drawing.
yeah, we got this nice little transition, and they're using like the shattered to float over it.
Oh, those are definitely mega codas right there with that. Isn't that Kodama's mega coda?
Oh, dang, maybe. I mean, damn, look at these megas. Like this one
Bro,
right
why
here,
didn't
this
we hit mega
plague.
codas?
Dude, I didn't even get a coda. What the
Ooh,
hell?
look at that black on black one.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Nice.
Yeah, that is Kodama's.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, hey, look at the numbers now. It's no longer
Wait.
8, 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Also,
It's
the boss isn't a bajillion. It's 54,800.
yo. Wait, what?
The
Oh.
boss up on top, the score is much
Oh
much
yeah,
more.
you're right.
And then
The
the
boss
time for this right here is significantly larger. So what if there's a correspondence
80
to the
days.
battle you take and the prize that you reap? That seems to be interesting because this up here is different on every one we've seen, dude.
What if it was like it's gonna take 80 days for you to defeat this?
No, but it could be, right? Like what if, think about it in terms of a staking mechanic. And they're like, "Hey, you could have a 20-day battle, a 60-day battle, or an 80-day battle, but each one offers different loot, reward packages. The 80-day might be significantly
80
more, might
days
not
is
be.
so
Bro,
fucking long.
I've had my Chimpers NFT staked for almost 300 days already.
What?
Yeah, so, like, that shit goes by like that. In NFT time, 300 days is 24 hours, you know?
Okay, you're right. You're right. I mean, some are different, you know what I mean? So
But that's an interesting thought because it could really incentivize people to lock up their quotas for a period of time, and especially if they said it's not a time sucker, right? And there's 3 like, we've seen 3 different go back a little bit, Sean, a little bit on this. 80 days right here we see, then 64 days.
no, 640 days.
Fuck, okay, even more. Bro, 2 years. You gotta lock those motherfuckers up for 2 years.
2 years. Dude, that's why there's 900 bajillion, energy
I
up
might
there at
be
the top.
wrong, right? But, like, what if I'm right?
No, I agree. Like, I think that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, hey, in order to get this is how long it'll probably take,
Like, yeah, you
but
can
I
win a
just thought it was
Renga, but
more
it
of
takes
like
640 days.
you can get these Congos, these forgotten ruined Congos.
Oh my god.
Oh shit, no.
That's not
They
the
can't
worst
be.
thought. Alright, let's keep
I
going.
know, but
I hope I'm
that's
wrong. I
too
hope I'm
long.
wrong.
That's too
I
damn long, right?
The NFT space has barely been alive for 640 days.
Yo. Yeah, in NFT days, that's like forever, dude.
I'm like,
This shit
well,
will turn 3D by then.
it's for grandchildren.
They're talking about generational wealth. Like
Right, exactly.
you get the loot in the next generation.
You lock it up and then they'll claim the prize.
All right, so yeah. Dude, by
Yeah.
that time you'll forget.
What is time
All
anyways?
right, so I think we're getting attacked here. What did it
Alright.
say? What did it say? Reap the rewards. Boom. Oh, it just lit up the whole Kodo
That
squad.
looks like a big ass mosquito.
Yeah, this is really nasty.
I know.
With like blood dripping from it. That's crazy. Bam.
Alright. So we're under attack. We just got hit. Ever expanding gameplay. All right, stop real quick. So this is the map, that star map we saw back in the day that we digested and broke down that one time, right? So they're still saying that's really important. Excuse me, that star map is not to be forgotten.
Yep,
Because that
yep.
tells you all the different seasons and journeys, right? The friends. We did a whole video about that, breaking that
I know.
down.
Look at they have it nice and spelled out in English right here. This is the
Mm-mm.
catalyst. Before it was, I feel like this was like their
It was all
concept one
Coda. Yeah.
before they codified it. You
They're like,
know?
put it in, no one will know, and we're
Yeah,
fucking
just use
nerds.
that one.
Look at what that says.
No, but yeah, the star map, that was fun to break down. And so
100%.
that really showcased how this will be evolving. There's going to be multiple steps.
You know what
And
I want to say, Sean? How proud I am that this video is a minute long. We're at 44 seconds, and we've stretched this out for about 30 minutes of digestion. So
yeah, no.
it's crazy because that tells you how much information is in this little video of a minute, right? And Yuga loves to put stuff out there right in front of us and go, look, here it is. Here's the answer to everything in front of you. And we just look over it because they're wordsmiths.
Dude, it's also there's so much information.
So this
Right.
ship is what we're gonna be getting, right? That's part of the parts we're gonna be getting, not
Yeah,
shit, ships.
yeah, you'd imagine, right? Like this was on the horizon, in the blog, and they're talking about ship parts. Each one of these, by the way, like this was already kind of known for many things, but these parts are from different environments. You
Right.
got mycelium, you got the plague, you got harsh, you got, botanical, you got the coral one, I forget what it's called. You know what I mean? You got
Yeah.
sky. This is from the sky deed right here. So that's what that ship is.
Bring your entourage.
All right, bring your entourage, dude. So we're talking about friends. So we got one of the friends that's at the table,
I
and
see.
he has his cards out. We got what looks to be 3 codas, and then you also got an applied primate, sentinel, and then a meebit right here. What do you think of that? I think
I
this is
immediately
unannounced
wish I
right
still
here.
had my Meebit. No, the Sentinel from Applied Primates makes sense, especially after the Miami party, right? So that makes me think that you're gonna see mutant hounds as well.
Oh, they're
Uh,
already at the table.
yeah, no, of course, but I think it's just gonna be interesting to see these cards. Um, I also think it's really gonna incentivize us figuring out how to play together, but I'm super lost with the actions, right? Like 16555 for their number. Is that the corresponding number to that me bit? Are these all their token IDs? Because if that is the case, that still makes me wonder about those other codas. Was that their token IDs?
I think so, because like when you look back at, before it just said like here 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like I feel like those were fillers. But then you look 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 down here. But then in this one, we might actually be able to line these up.
I'm gonna look at the Coda website on OpenSea right now and see if I can.
Oh, maybe not, because these are megas and those are not. Like megas should be like in the 9,000, the last 100
Yeah, that's
of the
fair.
collection.
Oh man, I
You,
wish I
you know what
had
I mean?
three ether right now to just start sniping codas. I can't believe they're down in the three ether range.
But this is pretty cool. The fact that yeah, megas start at 9,900.
Oof.
So that can't be it, because otherwise we would see like
Okay.
9,954, etc.
Okay. So we'll have to figure out another strategy there for what that number means.
But maybe someone can check this Meebit one.
No, he said, yeah, it matches.
Okay, yeah. So I would imagine so. That makes sense to me. Is you'd want to have that.
Ooh, that's such a cool graphic.
Yeah. How it goes in focus too, like other side cards. shifting focus to the me bit, which is funny.
Let's zip it up. Coming 9/26. It's
And
so
then this
soon.
this just is pretty funny. Like I just felt like going through all this really cool animation and stuff, and then it landing on this. I felt like this was, I don't
Didn't
know.
line
It
up
just,
as
yeah,
well.
it didn't line up as well.
You know,
But
they can't bat 1,000, dog.
well, here's the thing. This was part of the trailer, right? Where they showed off like that whole expansion, and it
No,
had like the Coda and the Mara just
sure.
chilling, and all of a sudden the Shattered was coming. What we do get to see is like the trees with the eyeballs, so we have a better idea of like the environment here that that one's in.
Yeah,
And then it
I
shows
mean,
this
that was
really
a
cool.
fantastic video. I can't, how can I say this? I really hope that there's still more posts to come before Thursday. I hope that maybe tomorrow or Thursday we get a second follow-up video with a little bit more context, because that was a very short video with a lot of stuff that we broke down and speculated on, but not anything that we're like certain that's for sure going to happen, right? So, very excited by what came out, but there's still a lot of questions to be had. So,
Yeah.
Seafort came out with this awesome thread, and I'm glad you pulled this up, man. This was immediately what I was looking at right after I saw this post, trying to understand when he says Legends of Tomorrow is an idle experience that takes place in the season as the seasons turns. Kodas tell stories in epics, not haikus.
Yeah. What does he mean by that, you guys? Like, what does he mean by Codas tell stories in epics, not haikus?
It's interesting, right? Because my first thought when I read it was
A
epochs, like,
heroic poem.
yeah, like, I thought it was, like, the long journey of a hero, right? Like, that's how I read it, and a
Okay,
hike
you're
and a
right.
hike yeah, and so the haiku is this, like, more short,
Sure.
specific, that's it.
Yeah.
Uh,
So an epic, the definition for epic is a long poem, typically one derived from an ancient oral tradition
exactly.
narrating the deeds and adventures of a heroic or legendary figures or history of a nation. So
Yeah,
that checks out, and they give like an example of the epics of Homer. Um,
yeah,
so
exactly.
so I love that, just kind of like
So
another understanding of the word
so yeah,
epic.
like, to break it down in the most simplified way, there's a long story to this, not a short one.
Mhm.
Like,
And
that's really all that it is.
it's going back to like the legends of the Mara. Like this is the story of the origins of the other side,
Right,
the origins of the Coda, the Oda, and all of that.
right. This is part of the story, not the entirety of it.
Yeah. GM Muck. But okay. So in the thread, he says, we recognize that some holders are particularly busy. LOTM is an idle experience requiring less day-to-day engagement. How do you feel about that?
I dig it, man, because that's been one of the issues we've brought up time and time again is how do we make the time, right? Like, I already wake up super early just to play. Times now I go off and I do my rec league in an hour and a half. Doesn't sound like a long time until it's in the middle of your day and you're like, shit, 11 to 12:30, and so I had wondered, like, how is this game, the one that I'm most excited about, gonna get invested into my life? How am I gonna fit that? So now hearing, that sounded like John from earlier in our interview.
Yeah,
Uh, to kind of, like, think about how are we gonna put a 4th game, right? Because 'Cause we're still doing 10 KTF. I still wanna play Serum City from the Mutant Cartel when that comes out. There's so many games still on development that I'm
Heavy
like,
Metal
"Shit."
Arena.
Yeah, like, how am
You
I
know,
gonna do all this? So to think
there's probably
I
going to
might
be a
just
racing
execute
game
these
that
and
they're
go, "Hey."
partnering with Animoca about. You know what I'm saying?
And then the one the Wacky Frog one, remember? Um, no, but, like, realistically, it's nice to have something we could just put in, set it, and forget it, right? Like, if they allow me to be in a battle where I choose 30 days, 60 days, whatever, and I can come back and it's done, that would be nice. And at
Mm.
the end of it, you get a prize that's worth well, they're not going to tell you what it's worth because it's about the art. But like to us, if it's worth anything, I hope it's worth at least that much time.
Yeah, for real. All right. Well, you know, you're I think there is definitely going to be some long timers on this.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, if they're going to talk
600 days.
about, we recognize that, but they're also saying that some holders are particularly busy. So
Yeah, they know we're here.
LOTM is an idle experience requiring less day-to-day engagement. Okay, cool. So hopefully we're not going to be voting. I don't think we will be,
We won't be.
which is great. All right. For most players, the first week in LOTM will be about incubating and hatching your first Mara. This first season is all about preparing for the challenges ahead. So it's okay to take your time. There will be many seasons you can use to develop your capabilities.
This goes back to the epics versus the haikus, right? It's the long game. So we don't need to rush into actions with this,
All
it
right.
sounds like.
Yeah, the first week. So not the season, right? The first week is going to be about incubating and hatching your first Mara. So we gotta apparently incubate it, just have it, nested, and then eventually hatch.
Hmm.
All right. The first season is all about preparing for the challenges ahead. Okay.
Interesting.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. You broke it.
Sorry.
It's all good.
Okay. The 10K Brave Codas will have an opportunity to get a head start hunting the Shattered and will compete to defend the deeds. The leaderboard will offer dedicated rewards to the best and fastest hunters. So this is something that we anticipated, right? Especially when
Yeah.
we came off of the trailer, we were like, yo, why are there only Codas fighting the hunters? Well, when we thought about it, it was like, oh, well, because season 1, all the Maras are incubating and waiting to be hatched.
Right.
So yeah, it makes sense that the hunters are the Coda, they have an advantage by not having, and it's also in the blog, right? They have the advantage by not having to nest at all.
Right.
So they get that shot at defeating the Shattered, competing to defend the deeds. And we know that those leaderboards, each leaderboard will have a certain amount of rewards. And the best rewards are going to be the ones that defeat the Shattered expeditiously.
And if I'm right, I believe each leaderboard will correspond to the deed tier that you decide to fight upon, right? So like
Yeah, the
if you
environment tier, yep.
yeah, if you're an environment tier 1, you're not competing with an environment tier 5. And that'll have their own individual strategies. TBD. We'll see how that goes.
Cool. In addition, the Shattered are still being restrained. Oops. In addition, the Shattered are still being restrained by Coda magic. The Coda spirits circling them have stopped them from exhibiting their full power to give us all a chance to get ready, but they won't be contained for long. Okay, so all of those little spirits, those are apparently our Coda spirits that's circling them. And those must be the ones that kind of have banded together to help try and stop the shatter that they talked about in the actual blog.
Right.
So the Shattered are still being restrained by Coda magic. The Coda spirits circling them have stopped them from exhibiting their full power to give us all a chance to get ready, but they won't be contained for long. Why fight the Shattered? Well, obviously, it's your duty to defend your deeds. And for Otherside, the Shattered exist at the boundaries of things. They are agents of chaos, but also represent our themes of interoperability and connection. Huh. What do they mean by that? Do you know? Oh, shit. Yeah.
Oh, my whiskey went down the wrong pipe. No, I was gonna say honestly, that's one of those things that they do where they'll throw something out that doesn't really go. It doesn't go with the rest, right? It doesn't make sense as fluidly as everything else does. So, and for the other side, the shattered exist at the boundaries of things. Like what does that even mean? They are agents of chaos, but also represent our themes of interoperability and connection. So they're agents of chaos, but in order for us to beat them, we have to play
And we
along with
know
their theme of interoperability and connection.
from chaos comes creation, from creation comes chaos. So we
What about
know
chaos deeds? Because that mega that Eric has, represented. I thought that was on a chaos deed. I might be wrong, but I know there's one of those really crazy, beautiful silver monsters on a chaos deed.
choice they represent Gary Gensler.
Oh God,
All right.
nice hat, nice hat.
So yeah, I think they represent the boundaries of things. So they must, like, if you're near shattered, like there has to be some rewards.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Okay.
they're agents of chaos, but also represent our themes of interoperability and connection. So to me, I'm thinking about like, all right, they represent themes of interoperability and connection. Maybe that is due to the fact that by defeating a shattered, it gives you the opportunity to like work in these other collections, and then also those rewards, will offer, like we saw, there's a Ranga piece, right? Like, what if
Right.
I got that Ranga piece? The first thing I'm gonna do is probably ask some of my Ranga homies and be like, "Yo, is this cool? Is this good? I just got this." You know what I mean?
I mean,
So,
but let's be
so I
real.
think about interoperability and connection in that way.
What are most people gonna do if they win a prize? They're gonna go, "What is this worth? Can I floor it for
Exactly.
$700?" But you know what? You just said that something that triggered that thought is how are they going to avoid people flooring the prizes, right? Well, giving them a purpose. So what if there's a future quest where now that interoperability and connection is based on that loot box you received, where now I need to get that Ranga piece, I need to get that Forgotten Ruins, I need to go do some other collective action with that in the future
Yeah.
to actually incentivize holding it, right? Because if I get one of those right off the bat, and this is just me speaking, I'm gonna look like, "Yo, can I get $800 afterwards instead? Because why not?"
Hmm.
But they
Dude,
don't
look
want
at
that.
this. Look what Anthony said. Gift them to friends on board. I think that's a good point. Like, when you get something like this, you can be like, oh, you know what? Imagine if it's like, a reward where it's cool if you got a Ranga, but maybe you don't have a Ranga. And
I
hey,
don't.
you know what? Maybe there's one of the homies that could use one of these.
I
I think
like
that
the
would be
Ranga
cool.
art. I like the Ranga art, and it's
Oh,
interesting
hell yeah.
because, we heard back in the day that they had that correlation with,
We knew.
yeah, we knew, and so there was some thought and conversation how they play in. I'm just curious to see who they keep bringing into the fold, right? So, Muck said, "Are the Shattered the bosses we will fight in heavy metals as well in terms of inoperability?" I don't think so. I think they're loving keeping the individual characters,
They do look a little
but
different.
but it wouldn't surprise me if this in this universe and this in this universe are the same thing, but look different, right? Because of that Spencer Tucker conversation when he was like, you could be a fridge in this world and you could be the Spider-Man in this world or whatever it was, right?
Well,
All right, let's
yeah,
keep
I
it moving.
think he's talking, about interoperability and what that could mean. It doesn't necessarily mean like you're gonna have the same thing that works in every little thing, but
Right.
whatever your NFT is, like my cheetah ape in one game, maybe it's the skin of my car, whatever it might be. So it doesn't necessarily have to always be representative of the actual thing that you have. Like, oh, just because you have Jason the Ape doesn't mean you show up everywhere as Jason the Ape. It's that if you have Jason the Ape in your wallet, there could be other experiences that, hey, all of a sudden you see like something that's reminiscent of your flip brim, you know, or the gun that you have could have like some pink accents.
Sure,
So,
sure.
all right. What's interesting is like right after they talk about how they are agents of chaos, but also represent the themes of interoperability and connection, is that they go right into the shattered loop. So the shattered loop has a fixed quantity each season, but there will be many seasons in the open beta. The shattered can drop one incredible ship parts that will be key to exploring the other side in the full release of LOTM. All right. So they're talking about when the full release as opposed to the open beta.
Right.
And then number two, NFTs from our partners. So those are other things that they've, collaborated, work with those teams to secure NFTs from those partners.
And also though, and this is just my assumption from earlier based on a thought I just had now, is it like, let's say for, the two references we saw, Renga and Forgotten Ruins, it doesn't mean we're gonna get actual main NFTs. There may be a separate NFT, collection perhaps that's made with a collaborative effort, right? Of Yuga and Renga or Yuga and whatever. And that game piece is an achievement reward and has a purpose, right? Kind of thing. Versus, because I keep thinking to myself, like, how would they keep from fucking with the floor of those projects by giving away free stuff? Because if people just want to grab on a reward and floor it, that's not productive to the project that's aligning with Yuga and the other side. So it actually might make more sense if there's some kind of NFT that you get from the partner that has like a co-alignment, a co-purpose, a co-value. I might be wrong, but it's an interesting thought.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, are any of the NFTs that we saw, do those already exist? You know, like, does Ranga have like another collection besides their main PFP collection where you
Yeah,
see
not that I
that
know
item?
of.
You know, same thing with Forgotten Runes.
Right.
You know, and I'm not really sure,
I
so
don't know
that'd be
either.
interesting to know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this open beta is the first step toward a dynamic, player driven game economy. The next step, where are we at? Okay. The next step is an upcoming feature for minting harvested fragments as 1155s. This will help you prepare for the release of catalysts and the catalysis process. So, all right, the open beta is the first step toward a dynamic player-driven game economy. Dynamic player-driven game economy. So this is going to change over time, and the player-driven
And it's up
game
to us.
economy is very different than a lot of game economies where
Right.
the players don't actually, they're not even a part of the economy.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're the
Right.
consumers.
Exactly. Like NBA 2K, I'm just purchasing. I'm not selling anything.
Yeah, Call of
Here,
Duty. Like
here I
as
might
a
be able
gamer, I
to.
have to monetize off of streaming
Right.
sponsorship.
Here
I'm
that
not
might be
actually.
different in actual gameplay and purpose.
Yeah, and the next step is an upcoming feature for minting harvested fragments as 1155. So to me, that means you got to harvest sediment fragments, right? Um, and at some point, it seems like it's going to be off chain, and then there's going to be a next step for a feature that's going to actually mint those fragments to become on chain as 1155s, much like the popcorn in 10KTF.
So like I just typed into ChatGPT like what is an 1155, right? And it says unlike an ERC20, which is a fungible token, and unlike ERC 721, which is a non-fungible token, ERC 1155 is a multi-token standard.
Yeah, it's like a fungible.
Yeah, exactly. It could represent both fungible and non-fungible tokens in a single smart contract. Interesting, interesting. It
So you'll
supports
see these,
batch transfers, which is interesting, right? So, you know,
yeah,
it
less gas.
yeah, like thinking about Rec League, right? Like how it's all on the ETH blockchain. Like it can be, but like
Those are
how can you be a
721.
yeah, but like how can you be efficient with it, you know? And this sounds like an opportunity to look at like
What
that.
also means that like my my sediment fragment, like let's say I have some chemical goo sediment fragment, you can have some chemical goo sediment fragment and it's the same thing.
Yeah,
Like it's not super unique. There's no rarity to that. It's like, oh, you got sediment goo chemical you got chemical goo sediment fragment, and like anyone else could be able to harvest that as well, and then eventually they become 1155s, and we
that makes sense. That
essentially
makes
want to
sense.
get that prepared for the catalysis process when we
Yeah,
eventually take our Mara and we turn it into a Coda Mara. So that's what I think they're referring to here.
love
So
it.
they're preparing, and the open beta is that step toward that. Enjoy your first peek into the other deeds and prepare for Legends of the Mara to evolve over time. And this is just a small part of the other side story that we will write as Voyagers join us.
Dun dun dun. No, guys, I think you know what? This has been an awesome breakdown. There's so much to digest, and Sean, I'm super sure that we could probably go on for another 2, 3 hours just breaking this down.
Yeah.
But for the reality of what it is, I think this is a great time to kind of go to bed like Anthony and kind of wind down and actually really thank our audience for hanging out with us
Yeah.
because
Thank you guys.
that went by to me like the blink of an eye, and it just happened to be a little bit more than an hour now, and it was incredibly impactful to look at that
We go
video, to
deep,
break it
man. We
down.
go deep with this, dude.
Well, no, and as we should, right? Other space is focused entirely on what our reality could be in the other side, right? And so this is gonna be a big part of it. I'm very curious. No, pee time. Ah ha ha. You're hilarious. Uh,
Yeah.
you know me so well.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning in. No, but what I think is cool is that, like, they're giving us something to do until the other side is open, right? And getting to get a taste of what the Kodas can do, getting an idea of how we can nest our vessels and what could come of that. I'm excited to see what the Maras and Koda Maras look like when they transform at some point, right? I'm sure that'll be a spectacle on its own, but
Yeah, it's gonna be tight.
this has been a hell of a hang, Sean. I'm really appreciative of you bringing it all down. Before we wrap, like I know we want to talk about one or two other things, but like, what was your big takeaway from the video? You know that you're excited about. If you were to go like, hey, now that we've spent a good amount of time digesting it, is there one thing you can say you're most excited about now?
Oh man, just the fact that we're focused on the other side again. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
goddamn
we
right.
got you got OX Malix, aka Mike Seaver, who's the CTO that put out that tweet and was like, "Yo, I never gave you my 90-day update." And he was just saying, like, we're on stride with getting a few things done that I said would be our focus, such as like being more tech agnostic, focusing on infrastructure, focusing on like high concurrency experiences, etc. So there's probably a lot of things at work. And then he also just introduced the Eric Reed, who is the GM for Otherside that they recently acquired with Roar Studios. And I would imagine with Eric is like one of the things that we were focused on in the other side test was gameplay. And they
Right.
were talking about is like, yo, like you're not logging in with this. They took away all the technical stuff. You have to connect your wallet. You just show up, your apes loaded, and go. And it was a lot of the feedback and the questions that were asked afterwards, at least from the team to me, was like, well, what would you want to do? What would you want to, build? What do you see yourself doing with friends here? And a lot of that is kind of focused on gameplay. And so I think like my take is Eric Reed, not only maybe really familiar with like cool ways to collaborate in the metaverse, you know, making music, having like concerts or creation experiences with each other. But as a general manager, a GM, there's probably going to be multiple experiences that he would be managing and overseeing.
Well,
And that's kind of what I'm excited about, is to have Eric Reed come into the fold. Mike Sievers kind of did the alley oop for sometime this week. I think we're going to hear from Eric Reed, and that's what I'm excited for.
You just made, and I apologize to almost cut you off, but you said something about GM, and it made me think, you know, all my years in a restaurant, how it almost correlates in that like he's going to be overseeing all the different things that are happening, right? So there's going to be a lot happening simultaneously, and someone has to be aware of what's going on to kind of propel and offer the best experience to the I don't know what to call ourselves anymore. Consumers, the fans,
Voyagers.
fans.
No, you didn't like fans.
No, we didn't. But I understand. You know. Anyways, guys, listen. I appreciate everyone hanging out. This Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we have OTHERspace FM coming to you live again in the Twitter, in the Xverse. I still call it Twitter. It's gonna take me a while. But I'm looking forward to that. We're gonna hope that there's a little bit more drop of information from Otherside or Bored
There
Ape
will be.
now and then.
They
There
said
has to
this
be.
week. They said this week we should hear more. I'm like thinking of like, yo, we're gonna have Eric Reed come out and talk to us or something. You know what I
I
mean?
hope so, man. You know, and the one thing I gotta do really quick is congratulations, Sean, this week on your victory in fantasy football. It was
Let's go.
so close. You know what I did end up getting? The highest score in a loss this week. That's
That's right.
painful. But
Yo, and it's because you had Pittsburgh's D.
Yeah,
Because
over 20
man,
points.
that got me sweating. If I would have lost due to defense that
And it
came
kicked
up on that, that would have fucking killed me. And I have
bro.
Saquon. He's out for a little bit. I got a question, just real quick. Do you think it's worth getting rid of Saquon and trading him for Kyrie Williams, which is I think it's
The
Kyrie,
running back
the
for the
running back
Rams.
for the Rams, who's been scoring pretty well, and he, without Cam Akers on the Rams, like he's their number one go-to.
Let me
What do you
ask
think
you
of that?
let me ask you a question first. What is your spot in the weekly pick for our league? What's your waiver
My
wire
waiver?
number? Yeah.
Oh, it's
That will determine my answer.
It's probably number 7.
Well, I don't know them.
Well, fuck you.
All right then. No.
Well, he's not on waiver wire. He's not on waiver wire.
I know. He's a good player based on the last 2 weeks. That's all I got. You know what I mean? You got a guy who is a massive player versus some unknown who's had 2 good weeks. What happens with Cooper Cup comes back, right? With all that whole
Puka.
team. Yeah, with Puka, I'm like, what happens to Cooper? One of the homies keeps sending me a trade for Puka for Calvin Ridley for the last 2 weeks in a row. You're not getting him. Stop it. I know. I'm curious to
my
see how
daughter
it plays
this.
out.
My daughter goes, "Stop, Daddy, stop."
All right, guys. On that note, it's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with everyone for another awesome episode of OTHERspace PM. We appreciate everyone hanging out. Yeah.
Yo, real quick. I'm sorry, man, but yo, please, y'all check this out on our YouTube.
Please.
There's a new playlist. Scroll down. ApeCoin how-to videos. We did this thanks to Thank Ape.
Yeah.
And we made some videos. We think this could be a good resource if there's anyone that might be thinking about creating an AIP, wants to get a little more involved to the ApeCoin DAO. just know that this resource exists.
Yeah.
And so you got myself and Jason. Just each of us did 3 of them. We'll probably add some more in the future, but for right now, we wanted to have these up. And just want to make sure everyone that is in the Other Space community knows about it, so that if you had anyone that was interested in participating in the ApeCoin DAO, here's a resource you can point them to.
Yeah, and in the meantime, just go ahead and go like every single video and make sure to share them all, because they're informative pieces of information. And I think as I looked online the other day for a lot of that, there wasn't anything but a lot of FUD on the ApeCoin and just kind of that particular world. So we want to show it in
Yeah,
a
it's
positive
just a
light.
bunch of traders,
We're here for the long term, and we're kind of big fans of what ApeCoin's potential could be. So I appreciate you hanging out, everybody, with us
Yeah,
tonight.
thank you,
Sean, thank
everyone. It's
you
been fun.
for hanging out. How's that margarita now at the end of the night? Still tasty?
Yeah, I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. So I'll probably
I
be up
drink
a little
mine
bit. I'll
steamed.
probably, I still haven't done my heavy metal vote, so got to do all
Oh,
that. And I'll probably jump into the Other Space Discord. So I'll see you there if you're in the voice show.
well, happy rifting, man. Until next time, guys. I'm Jason the Ape. That's my boy Sean Nana. I'm gonna point that way,
Hey.
that way, that
Oh,
way.
hey.
Hey, there he is. All right, guys. Thanks. Peace.
Bye, everyone.